It's great to see you all here. Thank you very much for coming to the final demos for CSE 125. I'm going to give a quick introduction. So there are a number of you here who have seen this all before, which is great. Thanks for coming back to see the latest and greatest of the class. And for those who are here for the first time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a very quick introduction to the class and what it is that we're going to do when we start the demos, and tell you a little bit about what it's like from my perspective to see what happens throughout the quarter. And that's not going to take too long, and then we'll transition. We'll have each of the groups go and demo their games, because that's the most interesting part. Okay, so 125 is a very unusual class. It's unlike our other computer science classes because the students just work on one project for the entire course. So as the instructor, what I want the students to experience is what it's like to take everything that they've learned while they've been here and work on a capstone project, something that is larger than they've ever worked on before, and perhaps larger than they even realized they would be able to do. So just something that is amazing, and to have an experience that hopefully they'll remember for a lifetime. And a crucial aspect of the course is that they have to work as a team to be able to achieve this goal. It is not a project where one student can just do everything, especially that we only have 10 weeks to be able to do everything. And realistically, it's just 9 weeks of implementation. So they have to work very, very closely together as a team to be able to succeed and to be able to make everything work out. I also want them to be working on a project that is very challenging, interactive, real-time, high performance, something that really pushes what it is that they're able to achieve as a programmer. And I come from a systems background. So the other regular undergraduate course that I teach is operating systems. That's the background that I come from. And so from my perspective, in creating this course originally, I wanted the students to experience what it was like to design and implement a distributed system, something that was very complex and challenging. And there are many different kinds of distributed systems out there, lots of different things that you can do. But to make the course fun, the system that they're building is a multiplayer 3D game. All right, so again, the goal is system building to be able to implement a very, very challenging and demanding application. So we're not starting from a game engine and then seeing what is the sort of best game that we can do in the amount of time that we have. They are building their own game engine. They're building a game engine on the client. They're building their own game server that implements all of the game logic and a custom network protocol that connects the two things together. So they're building a tremendous amount of infrastructure to even be able to implement the game on top of it. And so when we finally do get to the demos, I hope that you keep this in mind, and that what it is that you see, again, they're starting from scratch, and they're doing it in 9 to 10 weeks. It's incredible that they're able to do this. And what you see reflects their own creativity, the determination, and the skills that they have in being able to build complex pieces of software. Okay, that is the course. Let me just give you a sort of a quick guided tour for what the course looks like from my perspective. So this is a picture at the end of the first lecture on the first day of the course. We have just formed groups, and everybody is getting together, exchanging their information, getting to know each other, and then that is the beginning. And in week 1, everybody's happy, lots of smiles. How do you like my image editing skills there? All right, so this is what it looks like. And then the groups are starting to, they are brainstorming about what it is they want to do, how it is that they want to do it, what's the story behind the game. The whiteboards are full of lots of notes. And then they really dive into it. And then on a week-by-week basis, the students are working on weekly goals. And I meet with every group for 30 minutes during the week, and we just use that rhythm throughout the quarter to be able to pace things out so that we can make sure that the students starting with nothing end up with these amazing projects in just 10 weeks. Okay, and certainly as the quarter goes on, the students learn lessons. I really have to hand it to group one. They really know how to hunker down in the lab. I really strongly encourage the students to work together in the lab. And some groups really take that to heart, perhaps even living to a certain extent in the lab. The weeks go on, more and more development. Everybody starts to have fun as things come together, where fun also equals a lot of stress. And then comes my favorite part of the quarter for 125, towards the very end, because from my perspective, the weeks are going by quickly. When I think back to, for example, in the first week or two, where the groups are creating all of this concept art about what it is they want their game to be and look like and what their inspirations are, they're sort of just mapping things out in their head ahead of time. And then 8 to 9 weeks later, it all comes together. It's just truly incredible to go from here to here in under 10 weeks. It's just really, really amazing. Okay, and then this is what it looks like in the lab last night. I brought some food, so everybody's chomping down, working really hard, working perhaps very late into the night. Just to give you a sense, this is what the lab looked like in the morning. Some years I come in and the lab is completely empty. The lab was not at all empty this morning. Sleep was had, perhaps not at home. And I've been teaching this course for 26 years, so this is the 26th year. And what's great is every year there is something new. This year, I got a request to use the shower. And I am all in favor of the students showering, so I absolutely honored that request. Okay. This course can't be done alone. There's lots of people who help out with this course, so I just want to very quickly name them. So Cindy and Jennifer, who help out with course support in various aspects. Erin McMahon, who's the lab manager, who has to put up with a lot, even up to last-minute requests for me for crazy installations of piece of software. So he's very, very patient with us. It's super helpful. And Hector, Ruben, and Christina, who help run these amazing demos. It's just fantastic that we have this auditorium to be able to do it all. And every year when teaching the course, I try to have guests come in and give lectures about what it's like to work in the games industry. And this year we had a fantastic set of speakers. We actually had 3 groups of speakers come in and talk about many of the full spectrum of different types of game companies. So Roy, who's at Xbox, Josh, who's at World Golf Tour, and Z and Keith, who came from High Moon Studios and came and gave a fantastic talk. It was wonderful. Thank you guys so much for being able to do this. I really appreciate it. The students really appreciate it. So thank you, thank you. Okay, so that is it for me. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna have fun. And here is how we're going to have fun. So we have 5 groups. Each group is gonna demo their game for roughly about 15 minutes. They'll begin with an introduction. They'll introduce all the members of the group and what they worked on, and then they'll talk about their game, what their game idea was, what their inspiration was, what is it that they were trying to achieve. And then when we have the game up and running and ready to go, each group will ask for 2 volunteer players to come up and help them demo their game. And then we'll get things started, and we'll let the students demo their game. And then at the end of each demo for each game, towards the end, we will open it up to Q&A. And I'll help facilitate this, and you'll be able to ask the students any questions you want about what it is that you see about the games that they've done and how they've done it. All right, fantastic. Let us start with group 1.